Thanks be to God who gives us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 57. Hello beautiful family, warmest welcome back again to the Love Vista channel. I do hope you're doing well and I do trust that you're taking good care of yourself. Today I have my fish stew recipe here. This is absolutely so delicious and it's definitely a crowd pleaser, total hit. Please stay tuned and let's do this together because this stew is so delicious and you do not want to miss this. So family, before we even start with the stew process, I like to start off by prepping my fish, and as you can see I have cut them into the sizes that I want, and I squeeze out half lemon, and you can use lime if that is what you have. I squeeze them on it and then rinse it off properly with water, and today I'll be using red snappers and some croakers. You can absolutely use any type of fish that you prefer. I generously rinse it off with cold water, and after everything is done I just put the clean fish on my paper towel. Make sure to tap all the excess water that I have on my fish before I introduce my spices. After that I'll put my fish in the bowl and I will introduce my seasoning or spices to this. Okay, time that I will be frying fish for stew, these are the spices that I normally go for. I have here powdered cloves, I have all-purpose seasoning, and I have my Maggi shrimp powder. However, if I am frying fish and I'm not going to use it for stew, I totally have different types of spices that I go for. I will hopefully share a video of how I fried my fish other ways in the near future. The powdered cloves here added lots of flavor to my fish and I totally love it. I give it a good mix so that all the seasoning will get into the fish very well. I want it to marinate so well. So after I'm done with mixing it, I just cover it and set it back in the fridge for at least 2 hours. While waiting, I go ahead to prep all my vegetables that I need for my stew. Here I'm just going to chop all the ones that I need to chop. There you have it family, I am done chopping all that is needed to be chopped. I have here my chopped tomatoes, onions, I have the red and the golden ones, and here I have my colorful red bell pepper, spring onions, and I have my tomato paste, and here I have my all-purpose natural spice blend. I have a video of that and I will link it right here for you. This is basically the leftover of the seasoning that I used for my fish, and I added curry powder and nutmeg powder and some salt and bay leaves. That is all that I have as my ingredients, and of course I'll list everything down below in the description box. You know family, when I want my stew to go faster, I just have to cook my tomatoes separately, and this time around I'm going to put it in the oven, and I added a bit of onions and bell peppers for flavor. I also added a teaspoonful of all-purpose seasoning, and I drizzled a little bit of oil, and then I just left it in the oven for it to slowly bake as we're waiting for our fish to marinate well in the fridge. Wow, it is just so amazing family. So now the fish is done, but the tomatoes of course is still in cooking and baking slowly in there, and it's just so lovely. So I'm gonna head to fry my fish, and look how marinated this fish is. So right now my oil is hot enough and I'm about to fry my fish. So I go in and infuse it with a bit of basil leaves and hot habanero pepper. Yes, that is what I want my infusion to be, and then goes in my fish. So family, there's a lot of ways to fry fish, especially if you're using it for your stew. I try as much as possible not to use any form of flour in here. So the best way to fry your fish without buttering it with flour is to, one, make sure you have a lot of oil, excess oil in there. Two, make sure your fish is coming straight from the fridge and it's cold enough. This way it's not going to suck the oil and it's not going to tear apart. Okay, let me tell you family, oh my, oh my, the infusion, the seasoning and everything in this fish is just so delicious and just like the way I want it. Just look at that fish, look at that. See, these fish were fried to perfection without no tear or no oil soaked in too much. So the first batch is done and I'm going right in with my second batch. Delicious, so delicious. They are looking good. Looking good, and the most tempting thing in the world is to fry fish without tasting it. So I did my thing. Of course I did taste it. And it was so good. You could tell straight up that this fish has been fried so well and seasoned greatly. Okay, so off we go with our stew process. And look how beautiful the tomatoes have been baked, and once it's done like that, there is 100% guarantee, no issue whatsoever of sour and keka stew. You know what I mean? Perfect start for a great stew. So please don't omit this process, okay, when you're making your stew. So I go in with the oil that I fried my fish with because of its great infusion. Goes in my chopped onions. I'm not going to use all of it. I'm going to divide it into two, and then I will later on add my tomato paste with about 2 teaspoons of curry powder. And let me tell you, the base of your stew is so very important. Add these tips few times here. The curry powder goes with the tomato paste and it removes all that sourness from it. So I'm going to fry the tomato paste for about 10 minutes. At this point, I have added my blended natural spices to it and I'm going to fry this. It loses the major water content that it has. I want it to be as fast as possible. This will take me around 15 to 20 minutes, and it is very important for you to allow it to really fry well, because as soon as your blended vegetables, that is the tomatoes and all the bell peppers and onions, get in, your stew will be basically done. All that you have to do is to allow it to simmer through for at least 10 minutes. Fish stew is ready, and I tasted it and I realized I needed a little, just a tiny little bit more of salt, and we were done. And now we're about to serve it with some coconut rice. Let me tell you, this stew can be paired with lots of things: your kinky, your yam, I mean, you name it. Okay, it is so tasty and so delicious. I am totally in love with this fish stew. This happens to be one of the best dinner lunch ideas that you could ever find. It is just so tasty, and that fish was just so incredibly delicious. It just literally melts in your mouth. So tasty, family. Super easy, super cool, right? I know. Yes, thank you so much for watching till the end. And if this is your first time here, hello. My name is Lovia, and my main goal here is to cheer you up in making your own delicious meal right at the comfort of your home. And I also love to share kitchen related motivational videos, so please come on board and join the family by subscribing, and you are going to enjoy yourself so very well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Just know that you're beautiful just the way you are.